Hello everyone, welcome back to English with Doris. In today's video, I'm going to be responding to a question that I get a lot. That one question that I get all the time is, how did you practice speaking? Okay, so before actually getting into my response, I would just quickly like to say to you guys that I myself am very much aware that my English is not absolutely perfect. I do make mistakes from time to time because it's not my native language, as you guys already know. But honestly speaking, I do make mistakes in my native language as well. Like sometimes I would literally forget the word that I was going to say on the spot. However, of course, I do try my best to not make mistakes as much as I possibly can if it's for the videos that I'm going to post online, which are intended to help other English learners like me, so I wouldn't want them learning the wrong thing. Now that I got that out of the way, I'm going to get into the video now. A very useful tip, I repeat, a very useful tip for the people who are struggling with speaking. It doesn't even have to be English, it could be for other languages as well. What I want you to do is try to link the language that you're trying so badly to be able to speak with the things that you enjoy, with the things that you love, with the things that you like. Try to link them, okay? Try to link them. And that's where the magic begins. First things first, the obvious point. To be able to do the speaking yourself, which is the output, okay, which is the output, you've got to do a lot of listening first. You've got to consume a lot of content in English first. But like I said, it also works for other languages. The reason why I'm emphasizing such an obvious point is because I feel like people are not doing it enough. This is the kind of advice that you would literally get anywhere. This is not just from me. You would hear this all the time. But ask yourself again, are you really doing it enough? Are you really doing it? And the second point, please be patient with yourself. Please be patient with the process and try to enjoy the learning journey, because this is not going to happen overnight. You still need to consume content and you still need to understand it. You still need to take time to really have a grasp on it, you know? Another extremely important reminder for you guys is not to get too caught up in the hows. There are always going to be other people who are already at the level that you want to be at. So you're going to feel like, oh, how did that person do that? How did they do that? I really need to get their advice and I need to learn their tips and tricks in order to be like them. And yes, that is true. You should get advice and you should learn the tips and tricks of how other people do it. But I'm just saying not to overdo it, because oftentimes people just tend to get caught up, too caught up in the hows of the other people, and they end up not actually doing the process themselves. And then they just keep finding out about the how of other people. Now, I completely understand where you're coming from about getting advice and learning the tips and tricks, because sometimes if you're doing something in the wrong way, it might take longer than necessary, or it might become more of a difficult process. So you should really learn those things. But I'm just saying, again, to not overdo it. You also need to understand that the learning journey, the learning process is not the exact same for every single person out there. So try to calm down, try to tap into your own intuition and experiment with different methods and see what works best for you. I'm going to be completely honest with you guys about my learning process. Although I did manage to improve my speaking skill, it was not an intentional process at all. I just happened to consume content that I enjoyed watching or listening to in English. They were not even about English, they were just in English. So I ended up doing a lot of unintentional listening in English. My listening journey mainly started from the time that I finished my matriculation exam, because obviously I had a lot more free time on my hands and I went onto YouTube a lot, and I was really into supernatural horror, crime documentaries, and setting goals, planning for the new year, and basically mindset videos. So you guys see what I mean? My intention was not to learn English, but it was just about the contents. All along, it was just about the contents. But those contents were the contents that I chose for myself because I was genuinely curious about them, or I was genuinely interested in them. Okay, so when I watched those videos, or whenever I listened to those videos, I would be all ears. I would be paying full attention. So naturally, I picked up the language as well. And this brings me to my very first tip that I gave you guys in this video. Try to link the language that you're learning with the thing that you like. And never ever feel discouraged, guys, because I have been doing English listening for years now. Years, okay? So I am going to be able to speak like this. But still, like I said, I make mistakes as well, and it's not perfect English, and it's not going to be overnight. So don't be too hard on yourself. Be patient with yourself, just like I said before. And why do I say that these tips also work for other languages? Because I have tried it myself for other languages as well, not only English. So for learning Japanese, I watch anime, and it is the love of my life, okay? So anime helps me a lot with my Japanese pronunciation, accent, and also usages. And of course, when I was learning Chinese as well, I was watching Chinese dramas a lot. So that also helped me with my vocabulary and speaking, and obviously pronunciation. This is definitely the longest video that I have ever made on my page, and I put a lot of passion into it, okay? So I really seriously do hope that it helped you guys in some way. Even if it's just a little bit, I hope that it really helped you guys and showed you guys some kind of like enlightenment. Also, please don't mind my sweaty and messy appearance, because I am literally sweating like crazy because the lights are out as usual and I can't turn on the aircon, and it's really hot in my room. That's why. Okay, that is it for today's video, guys, and thank you so much for watching.